And Russia has launched a number of missile strikes across Ukraine, killing at least one person in the southern city of Mykolaiv. 2 people were injured in Kyiv. Parts of the capital have been left without power after falling debris damaged power lines. Rob McBride is joining us from Ukraine's capital, Kyiv, to talk to us more about the latest Russian strikes.
Yeah, that's right. Airstrikes being reported across Ukraine this Wednesday morning. The alert was first raised in the early hours of the morning when a large number of Russian warplanes were detected taking off from airfields in Russia. And then, sure enough, at first light, we started to get reports of the first strikes here in Kyiv. There were around 4 loud explosions with several locations being reported hit. Probably the most serious has been an apartment block in the south of the city. In fact, we've been watching a pall of smoke for the past hour or so on the few kilometers to the south of us here, which appears to have been that apartment block, with reports of 7 floors of that building being on fire and several people being injured and hospitalized. But other cities have been hit in the northeast. Kharkiv has been hit once again, and also reports of strikes in the very far west of the country, around Lviv. It seems as though a lot of the weapons being used were cruise missiles, which can often be set on a very complicated, meandering course to try to confound and confuse air defenses. In fact, a couple of these missiles are reported to have been heading towards the Polish border, but then turned back towards the city of Lviv. All of this comes as the parliament here in Kyiv is debating new legislation to try to increase the pace of mobilization amid growing awareness here that there simply aren't enough soldiers to fight this war.
With his country in a deadlocked war and in need of recruits, 55-year-old Mykolaiv has decided to put on a uniform and pick up a gun.
Well, the time has come. We need to end this. The young people don't fully understand their time will come too.
He's joining the Azov Volunteers, a unit known for its far-right views and ultranationalism that says it has no problem attracting new recruits.
We need to communicate with people, not to intimidate them. Everyone will have to fight sooner or later, so there has to be a reserve.
But nationally, Ukraine seems to be suffering war fatigue.
When the full-scale war broke out, tens of thousands of men eagerly volunteered to fight. But 2 years on, with the growing realization that it won't be over anytime soon, that enthusiasm has faded. And many of those first volunteers still on the front lines are simply exhausted.
Legislation is being debated that would reportedly swell the ranks of the military by up to 500,000. But that would still mean soldiers serving now not being discharged for 3 years. And many families who regularly hold street protests believe that's unfair.
We want demobilization after 18 months. There are some of us who carry the burden of this war, while there are others here at home who are getting used to the war and ignoring it.
With Russia still managing to find waves of new recruits for its assaults, there's a growing feeling from these protesters their husbands and sons will be lucky to make it home again. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
The air raid alarm has been lifted here within the past hour here in the capital, Kyiv. But we're still getting reports of damage around the country, also from the southern city of Mykolaiv, where Shahid drones were used. We're getting reports of damage to dwellings there, to properties, and also more injuries.
All right, thank you, Rob McBride, reporting from Kyiv.